Guys, it's me, it's Queen Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Okay, guys, so I got a message from a woman, and she said that Aquarius are often accused of playing games, which some of us do play some play some medieval games. And she said, but what about when other signs try to play mind games with the Aquarius? And she said that she's come across a lot of signs playing head games. And she's like, what is the deal with people trying to play games with Aquarius? And I'm like, you got to understand something. That's not just Aquarius. People play mind games, period. I remember being a young girl, 10, 11 years old, and that was something that we would always say, oh, he is playing with your mind, or she's playing with your mind. It starts as early as middle school. People play mind games. They try to make you believe what's true is not true. And what's not true is true. People have always done that. I think probably since the beginning of time. I've been hearing about it, especially in romance and dating. You know, how many women or how many men have been deceived by somebody playing with their mind? I mean, think about how many love songs, or what I would call anti-love songs, you've heard that went like that, you know? How many movies have you seen where one of the lovers is playing with the other one's mind? How many times have you seen movies with friends or songs with friends or popular culture with friends? One of them was playing with the other one's mind. That's something that people just do and need to stop doing because, in my opinion, it's just, again, part of that dishonesty. We need to be more straight up and honest with each other about everything, about how we feel, about what we want, what we don't want. You don't really get a benefit from playing with somebody's mind. I don't know why people feel like they've one up someone, or maybe somebody played with their mind, so now they're playing with other people's minds, stuff like that. But generally speaking, when you're dealing with an Aquarius usually knows you're playing with their mind. They already know that you can't be trusted. They know if you're trustworthy or not. Anytime somebody has tried to play with my mind, I knew the real deal. I may not have admitted it. I may have been in denial. I may have told myself whatever I wanted to tell myself to give them the benefit of the doubt or whatever the case was. Whenever that situation has happened to me, especially in a love relationship or a situationship, I should say, a romantic situationship, I've usually known what was going on, but engaged anyway. Basically, a lot of us do that. A lot of Aquarius do that. A lot of Aquarius know what's going on, but engage anyway. Usually it's because we're getting some kind of emotional need or some kind of need, a financial need, some kind of need is being fulfilled. So we lie to ourselves about what's going on so we can keep getting the need fulfilled. That's basically what we do. And I think people other than Aquarius do that too, but that's a very common thing that when I've cornered an Aquarius and been like, you really didn't know what was going on. And when I cornered them, that's what was going on. Yeah, I knew, but I needed this, I needed that. They were providing this, they were providing that. I had to do this, had to do that. You see, a lot of times that's what the deal is when you get the Aquarius pinned into the corner. So my thing is that, and the other thing that happens, I was going to mention this one. If you're doing it with Aquarius that needs you, or a lighter Aquarius, you'll get one of those kind of responses. But if you play mind games with a dark Aquarius, they're just going to play. They're just going to play, and you might lose. That playing mind games with a dark Aquarius, when I was in my darker, grayer form, I was the queen of games and did not really lose very much. Most of the time I could think circles around people. Aquarius are really smart. And like I said, when we lack morals, when we lack integrity, we are able to think circles around people. We can plot, we can lie, we can scheme, we can think of something from back deep, 6 months ahead of time and trip you up 6 months later. Aquarius are really good with that. So when I was in my grayer spaces of life, I get you. Like, seriously, I will get you. Somebody will come at you come at me playing games with me, and I'll be like, oh, you want to play? Okay, let's play. So when it comes to them darker Aquarius, I don't really recommend that because it can get very violent. It can get very ugly. So I don't really recommend that, period. But a person who's playing games is not going to hear me. They're going to go play the game and they're going to get their ass kicked 9 times out of 10 if you're playing with the right Aquarius. The right Aquarius is treacherous. So I'm going to say the darker Aquarius is treacherous. So if you're going to play, they just going to play right on back. So I don't recommend it for either person, because what are either one of you getting from that? And then when you're dealing with the lighter or the grayer of us, we usually know. And then once it's not benefiting us to be around you anymore, we just disappear. So it's like, okay, this person's playing mind games with me. Right now, I need them. But see, the thing about an Aquarius that people don't understand, Aquarius know if we need you. And we don't really like needing anybody. We okay with it, but we really don't like it because we don't like to be handicapped and we like to be free. So if we got to depend on you, we can't be free. You can't be free and dependent at the same time. So Aquarius will often, I know I always do, if I need someone and I know that's something that I don't like, I will always find alternative ways. Like, what if I need you to do something for me and you screw up or you can't do it or something happens to you? What will I do then? I usually have a B, C, and D. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times that person think they can play the mind game with the Aquarius because the Aquarius needs them. But you don't realize the Aquarius is figuring out how to live without you. They're figuring out how not to need you in most cases. Whenever we find ourselves in that situation, especially if we're dealing with somebody that we know we can't trust, we're automatically thinking, how can I get out of this situation? Like, if this person leaves me high and dry, what will I then do next? So we're always thinking about that. So you're playing the mind game with the Aquarius. The Aquarius knows you're playing the mind game. The Aquarius is thinking, how the hell can I get out of this? And now they're finding ways to fill in what they needed you for. Okay, so I had to deal with your mind games because I needed someplace to stay. But now I found someplace else to stay. So I ain't got to deal with you or your bullshit no more. That's the Aquarius. The thinking, intelligent Aquarius, that's what they're going to do. Checkmate, motherfucker. I'm gone. Deuces. That's what the intelligent Aquarius is going to do. So your mind game is only going to last for so long. And like I said before, if you're playing mind games with anybody, your lover, your friends, your family, you are not getting anything out of that. That is just an exercise in futility. I don't understand why people get off on that, you know. I think that people just get off on one-upping each other, you know. Oh, he tried to play me, but I played him, you know. And that was my specialty. Somebody that tried to play me, oh, you was going to get got. That was my specialty. But as I got older and more mature, I realized that if a person is trying to play mind games with me, they don't deserve to be around me. See, this is the thing that we have to come to with self-love. And this is why I always encourage you guys to love yourself, because you don't deal with certain things when you love yourself. You're not going to deal with somebody who's playing mind games when you love yourself. You're not going to deal with somebody who's abusive when you love yourself either. So that's why I always encourage that. People always tell me, what's that about? Like they think it's okie or something, you know? But I encourage it because you become better when you love yourself. You protect yourself more fiercely. You don't allow people to play mind games with you. You don't allow men, women, whatever to come in and treat you like shit, take from you. You don't allow thieves in the temple. When you love yourself, you don't allow none of that. But when you don't love yourself, that's when people take advantage of you. And in the times in my life when I wasn't giving myself enough love, that's when I ended up with he who should not be named. That's how I ended up in bad situations, because I wasn't giving myself enough love. Once you stop doing that and you start loving yourself fiercely, and it's not about conceit, it's not about, selfishness, it's about thinking of yourself, not putting yourself last, taking good care of yourself, having more fun, enjoying your life. Stop doing more for others than you do for yourself. Whatever you're giving other people, you should be giving yourself that much more. And many people do not do that. They'll give and give and give and give and give themselves nothing. And when you do treat yourself like that, yourself doesn't really trust you because you don't really treat it good. So like there's this disconnect, there's this inner conflict even in yourself. And on top of it, you'll let any thief come in the temple because it'll fulfill whatever need it fulfills. So that's my take on mind games and playing with the Aquarius. It's not a good idea. Now, if you come across an Aquarius who isn't that swift, you might get over on those if they're not that swift, maybe, because the ones that aren't really smart, first of all, most of us are smart, and the ones that aren't very smart have a tendency to be the ones who are in the clouds. So they're smart, but just in a different way, you know. So you might be able to get over on them because they're not very worldly, you know. So you might be able to get over on them, but like I said before, if you're getting over on your partner, that's a partnership you shouldn't even be in. You're wasting your time. If you're not developing healthy relationships, you're wasting your time. And that's across the board. If you're in a relationship with anybody or anything, any situation, any organization, any entity, if it's not healthy, it's damaging you. It's wasting your time and it's damaging you. Okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I got to go shopping and I want to go see Endgame. So I'm not going to tell you guys any spoilers. I'm not rude like that, but I really want to see this before somebody tells me a spoiler. So I am out of here. If you want to send me a love donation, I will drop my PayPal. If you want to send me a gift, I will drop my Amazon wish list. If you want a tarot or an oracle card reading, my waiting list is kind of long. The first opening is like May 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to get in, it's best to always try at least to schedule 10 days beforehand. Okay? I also leave my social media information so you can hit me up there. It's been great talking to you, and I have a lot more to say. So come back tomorrow because we're going to talk again. See you later. Oh, don't forget to get the book for our meetup on, what is it? I think we're going to meet live on May 4th. Don't forget to get the book, Being Me, Loving You by Marshall Rosenberg. Our discussion is going to be on that book. Okay? See you later.